It's not even just avoiding the treatment. You're actually
Absolutely.
making the situation worse. And who
Yeah.
benefits from this? The
Well,
pharmaceutical
it's
companies who are just
ultimately the
pumping this
pharmaceuticals, yeah.
many years ago, probably about 15 years ago, the data started coming out about the relationship between type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's. I began looking at those statistics and looking at the statistics that related to risk of developing Alzheimer's based upon your average blood sugar or the A1C. There's not a statement that's not referenced in peer-reviewed science. Several studies how when we cut calories, we are confronted by an equal reduction in our metabolism. A very valuable lesson for people wondering why, gee whiz, I've cut my calories so substantially and I still don't seem to be losing weight. We turn to our doctors because they're educated and they have the answers. They're going to tell us which drug to take, etc. You ask the question in your book, then why are there fat doctors? Type 2 diabetes is a situation in which there's excess insulin because the cells are less receptive. We've become resistant to what insulin is trying to do.
So insulin is a hormone. It's like a key. It goes to the cell surface, like the liver cell, for example, interacts with the cell receptor, cell surface receptor, sort of, which is like a lock. It opens the lock, the gate opens. Now glucose can go into the liver cell, and the liver can use that for energy. So in type 1 diabetes, of course, there's no insulin because the pancreas has been destroyed. So therefore, the gate is closed, the glucose in the blood stays high, but inside the cell, there's nothing. There's no energy. So kids, right, untreated, would just keep losing weight until they died. And it didn't matter how much they ate, because that glucose, that energy, those calories, couldn't get into where it needed to go, which is the cell. So that's fine. And type 2 diabetes, of course, is a completely different situation. What you have is plenty of insulin, and the insulin that's circulating is normal insulin. It's not defective in any way. So the key is sort of normal. Then you can look at the cell surface receptor, and you can look at the lock, and you can look at it and say it's completely normal as well. So then why is this glucose, why is this gate, not allowing this glucose to go in? And the idea was that, hey, maybe there's like a piece of gum in the lock, right? There's something that's gumming up the lock. The problem is that it didn't fit any of the proper sort of clinical phenotypes. That is, people weren't skinny. They were really, really fat, and they had big fatty livers. So that's strange, because if your glucose is not getting into your liver cell, why is your liver full of fat, right? It didn't make any sense. It's the complete opposite of type 1 diabetes. What we knew is that there was insulin, but there's also a lot of glucose. So the alternative explanation, because there's always another way that it can happen, is that it's not underfilled, it's overflowing. That is, this liver cell, it's not that there's too little insulin, too little glucose, there's too much. So over time, you have too much glucose, too much insulin. You've shoved all this glucose into the insulin, into the liver cell, and now it's sort of bursting, it's full. And therefore, you can't push any more in.